Just a second, I'll have to switch the camera.
Hi, Sejal. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you doing?
I'm good. So nice to see you. Am I audible?
Yeah, audible. I hope I'm
Absolutely, absolutely.
audible.
Absolutely, absolutely. You are. So thank you very much. And we'll just give about a minute for others to join
Sure.
in. That's great to see a lot of people joining in. That's great. And it's been quite a while that I have come live, so I'm sure there'll be the wait is worth
And this is
you
the first
know
time I'm going live on Millesimal, so I'm sure a lot of people would love to join and listen.
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm so excited to have you. So, guys, we are in conversation with editor-in-chief of Millesimal magazine, Ms. Sejal Aggarwal, and I can't be more happy on this weekend to have her with me. So, about a minute to go, and we'll start.
All
And
right.
it's absolutely wonderful, Sejal, to have you. And as you're aware, this video is going to stay on our walls, so people can obviously come back and watch at a later stage as well. But it will be wonderful, for a live audience to type in any
Join
questions,
right
any
now.
queries they have, because we're going to talk about your journey, your love and passion for content writing, and creating a niche for yourself. So I think there's a lot to learn from you, and I'm sure your insights and your knowledge is going to help each one of us. So that's absolutely great. And I think without further ado, we should start. Okay, so
Sure.
formally welcoming you, Sejal, a very, very good evening. And it's truly my pleasure to welcome today Editor-in-Chief of Millesimal magazine, Ms. Sejal Aggarwal. She's going to be, as said, as I'm saying, the insights which she's going to share. We're going to talk about her passion about, for writing and content creation, her journey of this beautiful magazine, how she started, and how what challenges she faced, etc. So we're going to listen from her. It's going to be a learning experience for all of us who are interested in writing and look forward to have some career or perhaps a future here. So
Yeah.
for while Millesimal is a wonderful magazine, and it's a digital magazine which is really coming up, because of its special way of reporting certain things. It is, but for those who don't know, what Millesimal magazine, the idea behind, I'll give a quick introduction before we jump onto the Q&A round. That it is an incredible, wonderful digital magazine that is specially designed and curated to represent the millennial mindset. The content is positioned to reflect the core characteristics of how we define millennials. So, we all will be able to relate, and we all will, will think, it will be very relatable, and, unlike the
Yeah.
other magazines. So, you'll feel so it's like globally connected, entrepreneurially spirited, socially conscious, and eco-friendly, and most importantly, experience driven. So I'm sure one volume or one, it's a monthly magazine, right? So one
Yeah.
magazine, one edition after the other, there's always something to learn and look forward to. So very warm welcome once again, Sejal, and I just want to let uh, ask you to say a hello to our big listeners, and just tell us about your journey, your thought and rationale behind the magazine.
So hi, I'm Sejal Aggarwal, and I'm the visionary behind Millesimal magazine. I've always had interest in writing and creating content, and it started in 2017 when I started my own blog and YouTube channel. I did that for three and a half years, but over the period of time, I realized that I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to like give my content, like I wanted more audience, like mass audience for my content, and I wanted to showcase my content on a bigger platform. And that's when I decided that I should start my magazine. And I think as an Indian origin magazine, our sole purpose is to change the way media and journalism is seen in today's world. And I want to change the perspective of stories, and I want to give our readers a different insight through our content.
Absolutely. So how do you ensure that your content is relevant when, when we are repeatedly saying it is for the millennial mindset and it's exclusively, and so how do you think is different from the other magazines available, and, what is your special niche?
So I think the best way to analyze whether the content is relevant for the magazine or not is to go through customer feedback. I would not say that I was like when I started this magazine, I was not sure what content I should start with, but with a long time when I when I used to like upload every edition every month, I used to go through the readers' feedback, and that's how I used to learn what they would like and what they would not. Apart from that, I do interact with my audience on Instagram through Instagram stories or polls, or I do normal topic discussions wherein I understand what will be the best content for the magazine.
Absolutely. So how people, if somebody wants to contribute, so what is the basic genre, as in what type of writers or what type of stories would you welcome, or you're open to
Basically,
everything?
mostly I focus on startup stories by like women-led startup entrepreneurs. मैं उन stories पे ज़्यादा focus करती हूँ because I think they should that those stories are something that should come out in the open. And when I started this magazine, I used to focus mainly more on startup stories because people like get to learn a lot from that.
Absolutely. And I think it's very important also because sometimes we think that, we have limited resources or perhaps our idea is good or not. But when we see people around, and it's okay, I think it's okay to fail, it's
Yeah.
okay to fall, but it's more important to at least participate and do certain things. So I think
I
definitely.
I even like contacted to a lot of small business owners because I think they need to be heard and their stories should be shared and they just don't get the right platform to share it. So that's why.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's absolutely. That's I'm saying it's need of the hour when everybody wants to really do something but don't know how to do. So I think such magazines give an altogether a new perspective. They give, good suggestions and ideas to implement. So I think you're doing a wonderful job there. So for you, how do you determine like this piece of writing is good or worth going into your magazine or something like that?
So I have mainly four things that I look when I look at an article. First is focus. An article should have a main point or a main topic. Then the second thing would be development. The main point or the main idea of the article should be supported with the right kind of examples and should be detailed, should be described in detail. The third is coherence, and I feel that is the most important part because an article should be organized in a very logical manner so that the reader doesn't get confused and the flow of the article should be such that the reader stays connected with the article and reads it till the end. And last would be correctness because I feel that you should write article in standard English so that it is easy for everyone to read and it should be error free. I think these are the four things that I look into when I'm looking at any piece of content.
Correct. And it's very important also, logical construct or the kind of story or narration. And, I think these things are very important. And I think an USP for a magazine or any article which I read or perhaps I write, I also believe that if there's a logical construct to it, you'll be able to relate. And, and if it comes easy, it's kind of an easy reading for us. So I think the very important points you said that, it should be logically arranged, it should be at least grammatical error free and, all those things. So great tip from you. So, before I go ahead, I just was curious to know that I'm sure, we all think to do certain things, but in this competitive market, I'm sure it would have been very difficult to come up with such concept. And, now you have a name, your magazine is really growing good. So what challenges in specific, if I have to ask, were faced by you and how did you overcome them?
So I think the main challenge was deciding the content for the magazine. Initially, it wasn't going that well with the content and everything. But like I said, I connected with my audience, and then I started to think according to them what content they would like to read. And apart from that, I think the main challenge was also that I was working alone in this magazine in the beginning, and I used to do all the designing and everything by myself. And there were times when people used to come and tell me that, your designs are not good, your things are not good. I used to get demotivated and I used to feel worked up also. But those were the challenges which I overcome with time. And I'm happy that it has reached like a lot of people now. And I'm happy that I'm getting good collaboration for the magazine.
Absolutely wonderful. And that is the spirit. As I'm saying, we should fail or we should not fear failing or falling. Yeah. Most important is to, get up and at least, try doing. At least we don't regret that we didn't try. So I think that's a great inspiration, Sejal, we can derive from you. But still, today I'm sure, managing a magazine, and as you said, you have a small team and, perhaps single-handedly doing. So what are some strategies how do you do this multitasking? What strategies do you follow? and to keep yourself calm, or maybe, to face the rejection or maybe the appreciation at the same time? How do you do that?
So multitasking is pretty simple. I just when I wake up in the morning, I make a schedule that I'll finish like my work according to that. I like decide the timing in which I'll finish all the work and the meetings, and that's how I focus. Like I'm able to do my work properly. Apart from that, I don't have any any specific strategies, I would say, but some of my habits which has like made me grow as a person.
Hmm.
Firstly, I think reading. Reading is something that I've loved since childhood, and I still read a lot of books and everything. And I think it changes everybody's mindset and perspective towards a lot of things, and you get to learn a lot. Apart from that, I read a lot. Sorry, I listen to a lot of TED talks and podcast interviews. So two of my favorite podcasters are Jay Shetty and Bear Biceps. And I think all of these things, by listening to other people's perspective and journal things about life, you get to learn a lot. And that's how I grow as a person. And that are my strategies. I don't think these are strategies, but some of my habits which help me grow as a person. And
No, no, absolutely. If you ask me, these are actually working strategies, because some point, because even I have seen videos from these podcasters which you say, and have heard to their podcasts. They actually are bang on. At times, they really understand, what we need, and it helps us to think. So it may not be strategy, but these podcasts help us to think strategically.
yeah,
That
yeah. You
that is
pick up
how
habits from there, you pick up things from there, and you try to use them in your life as well. So I think it definitely helps.
Correct. Correct. Yeah. Yeah. So it's a nice way to do. Good that you shared. So what
Yeah.
kind of magazines, if I may ask, you were reading while you were growing up? Because
So
I understand you read a lot.
I was a fashion and beauty influencer before this. So I used to read a lot of fashion magazine. My main interest was into fashion magazine. It was Vogue and Femina
Correct.
magazines. But now I have been reading. I'm more towards reading Forbes and everything, Business Insider and stuff like that. But growing
I
up, I have
absolutely.
read a lot of fashion magazines because I had interest in that before.
Correct. Correct. They fascinated, and those things really fascinated at that point in time. Perhaps now
Yeah.
we have become a little intellectual. Nice, nice. So yeah, that's absolutely wonderful, Sejal, and I can't let you go, and let's have some rapid fire. Okay, so you're all set. You have just few
Yeah. So,
seconds to answer. Okay, so you need to be very quick. You need not be thinking. Okay, so a
hmm.
quick rapid fire for you. So can you list three concepts or elements which you include in your story?
So the first one is setting, then there's point of view, and there's conflict.
Okay, lovely. So are you smart or do you work hard?
I think I'm a blend of both, I would say.
Okay. Two things you would like to change about yourself, or you think that people should know about you?
The first thing would be that I should improve my ability to set boundaries and should recognize when I should take a break. And second thing, I should be more of a risk taker.
Absolutely. I'm sure it will come with time. So what are your greatest strengths and biggest weakness, if you can?
My greatest strength is that I'm a fast learner and I'm always eager to learn, and that helps me to evolve my personality. And my biggest weakness is that I am very self-critical and I don't focus on my achievements. I rather focus on the things that I'm not able to do. But I think the best way to go ahead from here is that I should we all should always focus on our achievements and at the same time improve ourselves as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So last rapid fire question: how would you describe yourself in three words?
Uh, Enthusiastic, confident, and friendly.
Absolutely, and we can sense that you've been extremely inspirational and approachable, and wonderful work you are doing. And before we conclude, a final message to our readers or listeners.
So, to all the new listeners, I would just like to say thank you for coming and watching this live. It was such an interesting experience. And I would also request you guys to go and check out my magazine. You can check out the magazine through the link in bio. And I want to thank each and every one who has been supporting me since the beginning of this journey. And to all the readers, thank you for all the feedback that you give me because it really helps me to build this magazine in a better way.
Absolutely. So, what are the upcoming themes, or what more we can see in your magazine?
So I'll be starting with my YouTube channel, and we are going to have a lot of video interviews as well. That is what is my next step right now. And apart from that, a lot of new people are joining in with my magazine, and I think there are a lot of new cover stories that are going to come, and I'm very excited about. I'm not going to talk about it right now because I really want it to come out that time, but I'm really excited and looking forward to it.
Absolutely, and so we are. So great going, girl, and wish you all the best. And thank you so much, Sejal, for taking out your time. And
Thank you so
I
much for today.
wish you, yeah, I wish you all the best. And it's absolutely wonderful to be reading your magazines and knowing you. And wishing you a lot of happiness and a lot of success. Thank you,
Thank
listeners. Thank you, and a very good night. Bye bye.
Bye.